Taylor, how are you? I'm so happy you're here.
Yeah, I'm good to be. Sorry, I can't even, it's early for me. I know it's not that early, but for me it is. Good morning, and it's good to be here. I'm good. How are you?
I'm amazing. Thank you. It's a little early for me too. It's a Saturday. So I
Yes,
appreciate you taking time out of your weekend to
of
chat with
course.
me. I've been following you on Instagram and TikTok, and the stuff you do is insane. For the
Mhm.
folks at home who don't know, Taylor does a ton of work with wildlife and conservation, but her main thing is snakes. She wrangles them, rescues them, relocates them. And I want to get into all of that. But
Mhm.
we have to start at the beginning.
Okay.
How does a person get into a line of work like that?
Yeah. So as a little kid, I was my dad's only child. So, little girl, most people think she wants to be playing princess. But I was out fishing, I was catching toads and bugs and bringing them home and playing with them. And I moved to Florida when I was about 7 years old, and we have a lot more snakes and reptiles. So then, I'm playing with turtles and all that. So it just started basically from birth.
That's amazing. I was kind of the same way. I mean, I was my dad's only one, so he wanted me to be into sports, and
Yeah,
I ended up working in sports. So
there you go.
that's yeah, we get our influences from our dads. So
Yes.
you made history just
Mhm.
this past month for being the first woman to win the Florida Python Challenge. So for those who
Yes.
don't know, the Python Challenge, it's held every summer, and it's kind of this wild competition where people go into the Everglades and they catch these invasive Burmese pythons that are destroying the ecosystem, essentially. So, Taylor, walk us through that challenge. What were those 10 days like for you?
Yeah, so I do this for a living, so it wasn't too different than normal, but I went for 10 days straight. Normally, I like to take like the 6th day off, get some sleep. So it turned into kind of a blur by day six, seven. I was like, where am I? What day is it? But just starting late at night, once the sun goes down, about 8 p.m. is when you start your hunt. Pythons like to move late into the night. So I'm going to 5, 6 in the morning. Some nights, you're getting a couple of them, so you're getting real tired. And then other nights, you're just grabbing them left or right. So just really long nights with mosquitoes. It is hot as heck out there, and there's tons of people there during the challenge too. So then I got to deal with a bunch of humans.
Yeah, you said this, and I read it too. Is that the best time to catch these pythons is at night? There's a bunch of humans out there. I mean, the gators
Yes.
have to love this, right? Like just like an all you can eat buffet. Aren't you afraid that you're going to run into some other wildlife like gators while you're out there?
I'm way more scared of the people. So I don't know if you saw one of my last posts with a mud snake. I'm trekking through the swamps bare feet. That doesn't really bother me. I mean, you got to look around because if you spook an alligator, it will, maybe bite you or hit you. But it's more of the humans. I mean, the humans were driving like crazy out there. I had to be careful of all of them, and everyone's like wanting to win the challenge. So it's a lot more scary with them. I love all the bobcats, the coyotes, all of that. I'm excited to see them.
So I know that there are regulations for how you're allowed to catch these pythons. I know there's certain weapons you're not allowed to use. What is your strategy? You see a python, how do you grab it?
So during the challenge is no different than normal. I don't use any hooks or dogs or anything like that. I just see the snake and I just grab it behind the head as long as I can find the head and then mid body, and that's it. It's really boring for me. I'm just like, done.
That's incredible. It's boring for you and terrifying for everyone else.
You get
But no, I
used to
have,
it.
yeah, I guess so. I guess, but I have the numbers here.
Mhm.
934 participants caught
Mhm.
294 Burmese pythons. So a lot of people came up empty-handed, but
Yes.
60 of those 294 were yours. Like you didn't
Hmm.
just win, you stomped them.
That's what you got to go all out, right? It really just has to do with that the time of year that they did it was mid-July. So they do it different months every year. So they're kind of trying to figure out the best month to do it. But this year they did mid-July, and that's when nests are hatching and when babies are just everywhere. So one of the nights I got a big nest of 30, and I think that just put me in the lead by far. And then I'm going out all the other nights and getting like a baby here, a 5 footer here, a 9 footer here. So it's just really hit or miss whether you get, a bunch of babies or not.
30 at one time. That's striking gold, right?
Yeah, it takes forever because, babies, I eventually got the eggs, but the babies are in trees, bushes, they're on the ground, they're over here. So it takes hours to find them all. And at some point, you just give up. You're like, I don't know where the rest are. I'm tired at that point.
You are the first woman to ever win this competition,
Mhm.
but I read that 5 of the top 7 finishers this year were all women. That's pretty
Yes.
incredible, right?
Yeah, I was super like, so I've told many people this. I didn't realize I was the first ultimate grand like woman to win. I just have always seen women in the competition. I don't pay attention to all of that, but it was actually super cool to have that title. And then all the women in the winning circle this year, I was like, let's get it. Let's go.
That's amazing. You won $10,000. Did
Mhm.
you want to do anything specific with that prize money, or did it just go right in the bank for savings?
So basically, I have an exotic animal sanctuary here, and it just goes into feeding all those guys and expanding cages because money goes fast.
I bet. I bet. Now,
Yeah.
what you do is super impressive, and it definitely makes for great social media content. But it's more
Yes.
than that, right? I know you do a
Hmm.
lot toward conservation efforts. You have your exotic
Yes.
animal sanctuary. I've seen
Hmm.
videos where you and your husband are going out removing venomous snakes from people's homes. So
Yes.
why is this work important to you?
Yeah, so I love all animals, furry, scaly, feathery, but a lot of people don't like snakes. You know, they either hate them or they just don't like them. So I really have to be the voice for that because, everyone loves bunnies or dogs or cats, but no one likes the rattlesnake hissing on your front porch. So really, I can't think of the word. I'm just the face of the snakes. I just want people to not hate snakes. They don't have to love them, but just stop killing them. It's just such a common thing here, especially in Florida. If they get a rattlesnake or cottonmouth on the porch, it's easier to just shovel them, as they say. So I like to offer those free services to come relocate them and bring them to the woods because they are native animals that help the ecosystem. And I just want people to know that.
Yeah, let's go back to that Python challenge really quick because you brought up something there about they are native animals that help the ecosystem.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people understand. I don't want people to think that the Python challenge is just it's like this open season on these innocent snakes,
Yes.
right? Like these are snakes, from my understanding, that were brought in as exotic pets maybe decades ago,
Yeah.
released into the wild, and they don't have natural predators, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's one thing I hate about promoting like that I'm a python hunter because everyone's just like, yay, kill snakes, that's exciting. Or how dare you? It's like I don't actually like the killing of the snakes. I love snakes, I love all animals, but unfortunately in a lot of areas the pythons are just so populated. I mean, I'll go out and see no cottonmouths, no native snakes and see like 10 pythons, even when it's not like super python season. So they're eating all of the native wildlife and they're competing with the native wildlife. So it's just like they have to go. We're never probably going to get rid of the population, but just at least slow it down.
Yeah, and do you think that those are mostly from people who have brought them over as exotic pets and freed them once they realize, kind of the maintenance that it takes to take care of a pet like that?
So there's tons of different theories, so I can't say exactly what happened because you never know. But as far as I've heard, there was like a few different guys that would import them from Asia because animal importation for pet trade was very common. And whatever they couldn't sell or just wasn't pretty enough, they would let go. And the pythons just, they're like, whoa, there's so much food, there's so much areas to hide, and they just thrived here. Because I think it was about in the 70s they were let go. So just years for them to thrive.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good time to remind everybody that Taylor is a professional. So please don't go out and try to just like
No,
manhandle snakes and make friends with
no.
them on your own without proper training.
Yeah.
We actually had a guy here in a park that I live in Tennessee, a park that I hike all the time, Savage Gulf. We actually had a guy who died from a rattlesnake bite a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yes, I heard that.
Yeah, he picked it up, it bit him, and he had like
That's
a rare allergic
allergic.
reaction.
Yep.
Yeah,
So that's
so
one
it's
reasons why we don't keep cobras anymore because they do like to spit their venom and you commonly get like allergic to it if you're like sniffing it all the time. Because yeah, you get like allergic reactions and sometimes that's what kills you, not actually the venom per se. So you just got to be careful.
that every time you say something like that, like cobras spitting venom, I'm like, oh my goodness, like you,
The
that's
norm, the
scary. I mean, I do
normal.
I do a lot of hiking, and I've been very fortunate. I have run across some copperheads here in Tennessee, a lot
Mhm.
of copperheads, a lot of black
Yeah.
snakes. I used to run across some rattlesnakes when I lived in Arizona, but I've been
Yeah.
fortunate that I've never, made one mad. And
Well, that's the thing. It's like you normally won't get bit. Sometimes if you step on one, because they're like, what is that? But it's really the guy picked it up, and if you don't pick it up correctly, it can happen. You can get bit. I mean, that's their defense mechanism is biting with venom.
yeah, I mean, it's a good reminder, not just
Yeah,
obviously it's very sad. We don't want this
of
to happen,
course.
but it is a reminder that not just snakes, but all wildlife. I mean, when you
Yeah.
go out in the woods or in the swamp, like this is their home, and
Uh-huh.
you really have to respect them.
Yeah, it's just like if someone came into my house, I'm not gonna be nice. you know.
You're gonna spit venom at them.
I'm gonna spit at them.
So how does your approach change when it comes to different kinds of snakes, pythons versus constrictors versus rattlesnakes even?
Yeah, so the pythons are non-venomous snakes. I really just grab them. If it's water snakes and stuff, I don't care that they really bite me. I just pick them up mid-body, move them. Pythons, try to get them behind the head. But like rattlesnake, cottonmouth, I usually use a snake hook and a hand. So I'll hold their mid-body head area with the snake hook and then hold the tail with my hand to kind of keep them from, moving around. So slightly different. Got to be careful I don't get bit by the venomous. I've been good so far. I've been handling them for like 11 years. Been good.
Well, I'm not going to be the one to jinx you, so I'm going to knock on all the wood that I have here. I saw one video of you and your husband removing I think it was like a 9-foot albino boa constrictor from someone's backyard, and that thing was mad.
She was like, I like it out here. You saw how fat she was. She was living her best life. Yeah, she was very obviously some sort of pet or breeder from someone's house and either got out because she was so big and strong, or possibly let her go, except I think it was a pretty expensive snake, so I don't think anyone would let her go, but you don't know. But this is also during Hurricane Ian, I want to say. So, not sure if she got out, but yeah, she was mad once we caught her. She was not happy about it at all.
Yeah, I was scared for you just watching that video, and the way that you and Rhett handled her, like it was nothing. I was in awe.
Yeah, she's good. And we didn't euthanize her because boas aren't invasive here. It's just obviously a let go pet and stuff. So she did unfortunately end up dying. She had a bad skin infection from probably being outside and for a few weeks or months, and she didn't want to eat with us from having that infection. We tried to treat her, but didn't work out. But she was a fun snake. She was sassy.
Your definition of fun and mine are different, Taylor. But no, it made for a great video. I could not stop watching. But you don't just work with snakes, right? Like I've seen on your channels, I've seen you rescue turtles and monkeys and baby possums. I saw you do an emergency C-section on a snake, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Yeah, so water snakes, so in July, like when pythons are moving, water snakes are also giving birth, and they like to cross the road to find a good spot to give birth, and then they get hit by cars. So if the mama snake is still moving or doesn't look like it's been hours since she died, if you cut her open, and they give live birth, so the babies aren't in eggs or anything. So a lot of times the babies are like, whoa, oh my goodness, they come out in time. Unfortunately, if it's been too long, they don't have oxygen, they die too, but we have saved hundreds of baby water snakes. We've tried cottonmouths too, but hasn't worked out yet. But baby water snakes, yes. Possums, always. Like I said, I love my furry animals. So if I see a dead mama possum on the road, no glove, I just get up in that pouch and I save those babies.
How did you learn to do all this? Did you go to school for this, or is this something you just learned by, from someone else, and then you've just been doing it a long time?
Yeah, so I would say my husband and I both learned a lot from each other, and just, how it is, years of doing things, and you learn this is a better way of doing this. And we also work with like the Conservancy here in Southwest Florida and FWC, and we all learn from each other. So it's just kind of a everyday learning process of things. But with the possums, I've gotten the tiny little baby things. I don't raise them up. That's just too much work. I've dropped those off at the Conservancy, but I've learned even if the mom possum is just demolished looking, always look in the pouch because the tiniest baby can survive. And hey, that helps, right?
Absolutely. I did want to ask you about your husband, because you guys do this together. Is this something that you guys both did, and then when you met, it was like a match made in heaven, or did one of you kind of rope the other one into it?
Yeah, so I actually slid in his DMs online because we were both part of a snake group, and he was more into snakes. I was more into the mammal side. Like I like snakes, but that was his thing. And so we just started talking, and it got crazy. We just got more into animals, more into conservation, and match made in heaven. It's been 11 years, and we just keep helping animals more and more.
Can you tell me about some of the crazier rescues you've been a part of?
Oh, goodness. It's like, something for me is normal, but like for everyone else, it isn't. But we go to Costa Rica and stuff. We try to go to other countries. And unfortunately, there was a howler monkey hit by a car too. And we tried to save that guy. But when you're in the middle of the jungle with a main road, trying to call people, unfortunately, it didn't work out. But even when we're on vacation looking for animals, we're still trying to save things. And then we save turtles out of the street all the time. Sometimes in construction sites, if you see a mom turtle laying eggs, we take those eggs home, hatch them, then let the babies go. So it's just crazy things all the time for us.
I have to ask you about, you mentioned monkeys. I have to ask you about your pet monkey. There was a video of you guys, I think it was that same albino boa constrictor where you
Yeah.
guys were out fishing with your
Mhm.
monkey and it had a little diaper on
Yes.
out in the boat. Tell me about your pets. And is
Yeah.
that like owning a dog or is it a completely different thing?
No, so that's one thing. So I try not to promote the monkey thing too much because his name's Toby in that video, and I raised him from a baby along with a few other monkeys. And even with being neutered, he hit sexual maturity and he's a jerk. I still have him. He's in a big, huge enclosure outside that's connected to a cage inside, but that does not happen anymore. And I actually take in, rehome, and rescue primates from the state when people don't want them anymore or they're illegally kept. So I actually have 9 primates that all have giant cages outside because they're different species. So I actually take those in too.
That's wild. How much space do you have at your
Yeah.
place for all these animals?
Yeah, I have 5 acres, which doesn't sound like too much, but we have huge cages. And then also I have 10 acres on the sides of me that I don't know where the owners have been. So it feels like my yard. So I have lots of privacy.
Awesome. I can't even imagine having a neighbor that kept like all these giant
Yeah.
snakes and monkeys and stuff.
No, our neighbors love us because if they have a snake or anything in their yard, they just call us and we're like, okay, on our way. They love us.
It's a good person to know. It's like having a good
Yes.
bug guy.
Yeah, you're good to go.
I've heard that about monkeys though. Like I know that they are not, everybody thinks they're cute, but they are
Yeah.
not easy to take care of. And you hear
No.
stories about, people who have kept chimps, which is,
Oh,
is
yeah, yeah, yeah.
crazy as pets.
Mhm.
And it never ends well. It never ends
Yeah.
well. So
So
that's
all my monkeys that like I got when I was like 14, 15 years old, and I still have them. They're all getting old. And because what 14-year-old didn't think monkeys were cute, right?
yeah.
So I got a bunch, and then as I've gotten older, I was like, oh, these things are terrible pets. What am I talking about? So now I just take in rehomes. And I mean, sometimes it works out. Some of them don't always get aggressive, but it is common that they're a lot of work.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I have a German Shepherd and
Hmm.
he is a lot of work. So I
Yes.
can't even imagine
Yes.
kind of your daily what is your daily routine like
Yeah.
when you wake up in the morning to make sure all these animals are taken care of?
Yeah, I wake up early, even if I've been out all night. Usually I'll just take care of everyone, then go to bed. But wake up, feed everyone, make sure everyone looks good, check on the snakes. I also have like 40 tortoises because people keep giving me their tortoises. So I have a huge enclosure outside of them. Make sure everyone looks good. Everyone's good. Everyone's fed. Then I try to get a nap in, or I have to go to my other job during the day. Then I come home, try to eat some dinner, and then go out snake hunting. And then do some snake calls in between and, throw some other stuff in there. Try to get a nap somewhere.
It's important while you're taking care of all these other living beings that you also take care of Taylor.
Well, that's why at day 6, 7, I'm like, I'm getting angry. I'm getting hangry. I'm sleep deprived. My husband's like, we're not going out. We're going to bed. I'm like, yeah, I
Good for
can't
him.
do this.
Have you ever had a scary moment out in the field when you maybe started to kind of second guess, like, why am I doing this?
Really, no. I think it helps that I always go with my husband too, so we know we have each other's back. Like I've had pythons start constricting my neck, but as long as you let go of their neck, they're like, oh, okay, I'm trying to get away now. Or I have him to help me uncoil, like from the tail end. Alligators don't really scare us. We haven't had any, for us, close encounters. For other people, they'd probably be like, that thing was snapping at you. But for us, we're like, oh, okay, cutie. Really, the only scary encounters are other people nearby. So, you're trying to cross a road to save a snake, the car dangers, but that's really about it.
You're fearless. That's impressive. But you did say you've been bitten by snakes. About how many times do you think, if you had to guess, you've been bitten by a snake?
Oh, thousands. I don't know, thousands. Nothing bad. My worst was in Costa Rica, my first trip 9 years ago. There was a bird eater snake, so not venomous, but they have good fangs. And it was in the hotel, and everyone was scared. And I was like, I'm going to show them how nice this snake is. And it started chewing on me. Normally, snakes bite and let go. This thing was chewing back and forth. And after like 3 minutes, I was like, this doesn't feel good. So I let it go, and I got split open on my hand. But it was my fault because I was holding it the whole time. I should have just let it go. But everyone wanted photos. And my poor husband hates when I'm bleeding. Like I was fine. I was ready for breakfast after that. I didn't care. But he started like passing out from all the blood. And I was like, it's fine. I'm fine.
It's crazy that he can handle like the scariest snakes I've ever seen, but then like this, like the sight of blood is too much.
Yes. Well, it's just me. Like if you're bleeding, no offense, he's like, oh, okay, have a good day. I don't care. But me, he's like, oh my God, she needs to be okay.
No offense taken. That's how it should
Yes.
be. That's how it should be. But I did see there was another video of yours that I saw where the rattlesnake had unfortunately been hit by a car, but when you held it up just to show its fangs.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that is
Yeah, they
terrifying.
got good fangs. Yeah, we like to show the venom. That's why, like, we don't like to show any animals we kill or anything. Not that we killed the rattlesnake, but we don't like to show that. But it is still good educating because a live rattlesnake, I'm not trying to pin it and show you the venom. So at that point, we're like, hey, we got to show people this because it is really cool seeing how big the fangs are and the venom dripping out. They're just fascinating creatures to us.
Yeah, you're not that crazy. You're not going to open the mouth of a live rattlesnake.
Yeah, come on now. See, I have a line that I don't cross.
That's important. That's important. So slightly different question, talking about your social media follow. You have a pretty big social media following. Your channel's super entertaining, and then your Instagram is great. Sometimes you're out there in your bikini or your sports bra and whatnot. You look great, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
But I can imagine you probably get, and despite the fact that you're happily married, you probably get some weird DMs.
Yeah. Surprisingly, I mean, I get DMs, but other people are like, how do you deal with it all? I'm like, my guys are so nice that message me. They want to take me out to dinner. They want to have a nice time. I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm married. They're like, I am so sorry. Of course, I get some of the jerks that are like, you're only good for one thing, or like, do you want to catch my python? I'm like, boy, I don't care if I was single. I would not touch you. Like, I don't want any of that. And it's the same messages, though. Like, she could handle my python. She could wrangle my snake. At some point, I just ignore it. It's not even funny anymore. It's like, let's come up with something else. I want some crazy DMs. Like, entertain me.
Yeah. I mean, come on, guys. Get a little more creative. That's low-hanging fruit. Like, she's heard the same thing before.
I mean, you could just scroll in the comments and see 50 other guys said that. Like you, if you want my attention, I need some outrageous comments.
Well, creativity is not always their strong suit.
I know. Maybe one day.
Well, keep me posted. Definitely yes, keep me posted.
I'll be like, whoa, finally, I got a good DM. I got to show you this one.
Taylor, this has been awesome. Thank you for sharing your stories with us. Before we wrap up, though, what's next for you? Are there any upcoming projects or adventures that we could keep an eye out for?
I mean, every day is really an adventure. I don't have anything too planned. I do want to do another international trip. It's been about a year since I've traveled. I like going to Trinidad, Costa Rica, Panama, you name it. So hopefully something exotic so I could show everyone, an animal or a snake they've never seen before. But otherwise, I'm going to keep python hunting and I'm going to keep taking care of my animals here and relocating venomous snakes.
Amazing. When you travel, do you ever just vacation, or are you always looking to see what kind of wildlife you can save and visit and hang out with?
So that's one thing. I think that's why my husband and I work out, because a lot of people, this husband wants to do one thing and the wife wants to go sit at the pool. I can't do that. Mm-hmm. If I'm going on a vacation, I want to see the red-eyed tree frogs. I want to see the monkeys. I want to see all the crazy things. And then we need a vacation after the vacation because we're tired.
Yeah,
but
I get that.
There's no boring vacations for me. I need to go crazy on them.
I'm with you. I mean, maybe not so much with the snakes and the monkeys and things like that, but I feel like there are vacationers and there are travelers, right? Yes. And I'm lucky that my husband and I are both travelers. Like when we go places, we want to see that place. We want to explore that place. We want to see what kind of hikes we can find. So I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I like seeing all the cool, unique restaurants is like, I guess, my most normal thing. And then go out to the jungle afterwards, go out snorkeling in the middle of the ocean for sea snakes. I need to do something crazy after.
I don't blame you. I mean, you can sit by the pool and eat at Applebee's when you're at home, right?
So yeah, I mean, I have a pool here. I don't need to go somewhere else for it.
And you're in Florida, so you just have like a constant vacation spot regardless.
Exactly, but I don't have pygmy marmosets or anything crazy here, so I got to go travel for that.
You've got way more crazy stuff in your backyard than most people have ever seen, probably.
I guess so, but for me, it's normal.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. And anyone listening who wants to follow along, make sure you follow Taylor on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube channel. She is a great follow, and I will link them all in the description so that you can find them easily.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here.